Hey guys, it's Chad. It's day 69, and I'm here with a good friend of mine. His name's Ronnie Brewster. Ronnie was one of the people that was an inspiration to me to start this journey. I came to him, I want to say about a year ago maybe. I'd played basketball with him in the past, and I told him, I really feel like I need to do this. I've seen the research, the documentaries, all that stuff. You've done this now for, at that point, probably a year. And I felt like if I don't do something now, my life's going to end relatively soon, based on my past family history. So he's been a real encouragement and a support, and I wanted to share his story today with you as an encouragement. He is a father of 2 kids, husband, and he's been at Phillips 66 for 20 years now, since 1999. Just a great guy, and he's going to tell us about his plant-based journey today. Give us a little bit of the backstory real quick, Ronnie. What was your lifestyle, your diet before you made this change?
Yeah, so I had a normal diet just like anyone else before I made this change. Actually, I did a lot of protein-based diet, a lot of just eating meat and cheese, and a lot of fruits and nuts and things like that. I didn't eat a lot of grains, kind of like I don't know if it's keto diet or whatever the diet fad is of the day. But
lower carb
type diet, yeah.
Okay.
And so I did a lot of that, but it kind of changed for me in March of 2016 when I went to the doctor and said, look, your kidney function is looking like it's a little off. We might send you to a specialist. After going to visiting a specialist, they came back, confirmed, yeah, it looks like it. So they did a biopsy, again confirmed, yes, you have chronic kidney disease. And at that point, they said, well, this is kind of a one-way trip. You'll start, you'll decline, and at some point you'll look to go on dialysis or put you on a transplant list. And so I didn't really like that prognosis.
Sure.
They did lots of things. A lot of it was controlling blood pressure. They put me on blood pressure medication, and then they put me on steroids, which was a horrible trip. But eventually, I went to the Mayo for a second opinion, and that was around January of 2017. So about a year later.
Okay.
And I took all my kidney biopsies and things up there, and they looked through it and confirmed and said, yep, you have chronic kidney disease, and there's not a lot you can do about it. However, the doctor that I had, he's like, look, I'll tell this to everybody that comes in here. And he said, 95% of the people won't do it. He said, but if you'll go on a vegan diet and just eat plant-based, actually not just plant-based, go vegan, he says, you will see your kidney function improve.
Wow.
And you may be able to sustain that for life.
Wow.
He said, I tell it to everyone that comes in here. He said 95% of people look at me and say, no thanks, I'll just go on dialysis and continue to eat what I want. And I said, well, not me. I really want to keep my kidneys, and I don't want to go on dialysis. Because they'd send me home with the videos. Oh, do you want to have a shunt put in your arm or a port put in your abdomen? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of the above.
Yeah.
So that was when I switched over to just eating vegan. And that was, for me, that was a tough moment. You don't realize how difficult it is to do that until you've done it. A lot of things that you think that you would, you think you missed the meats and things like that, and I do. Probably for me, the biggest thing that I miss is the cheese and eggs. If I can take anything back, that's what
cheese and eggs.
Cheese and eggs. Those are things that you imagine how many things that you eat that have cheese in them.
Oh yeah.
So that was very difficult for me. And the first couple of months especially were difficult. And it still can be when you go out to eat with people, and it can make you feel a little awkward when, people ask, well, why are you eating vegan? Or, where are you going to go eat that you can eat? So it can be awkward. But for the most part, people have been very supportive. The people that I work with, my family, they know the backstory. They know why I'm doing it. And so they want to see, me succeed just as well as I do. And so it makes the journey a little bit easier. Again, the first few months were really difficult. Just trying to find foods that you can eat. No one wants to sit down and eat broccoli every day or whatever. So trying to figure out what things actually don't have milk, eggs, because, everything seems to have milk and eggs in it.
Right.
But trying to find those things and find recipes, and actually the last 2 years it's improved. Things are the kind of diet trends are kind of trending that way, and so it has helped to make some more things available.
Yeah.
But the first couple of months were just really difficult to find things to
Sure.
eat and find recipes and not eat mushrooms every third day of the week or something. So it gets to be very challenging.
I found that having a recipe book, that was very effective. I used How Not to Die cookbook.
Yep.
Michael Greger, right?
Yep, that's a good one. Read that book, so.
Yeah. And just following that, it had enough variety that I could, and I found the ones that I really liked, versus the ones that I only did once, so. Okay, so your doctor at Mayo was the one that told you about the plant-based approach, a vegan
Yes.
approach. Did he mentioned some resources, right? What books did he comment?
Well, he had talked about, there were some, like the How Not to Die was one of them. He kind of mentioned the China study, but it's a little iffy around the edges on that one.
Okay.
There's some controversy on that one. But if you look at, if you take that and apply it specifically kind of to kidney disease, for me, it worked very well because even if you look like the Kidney Foundation or places like that, they recommend a plant-based diet, something lower in proteins and things like that. So it worked okay for me. Now, whether or not it worked in all instances of Dr. Campbell's study there, I don't know. But I think one thing to point out too is there is a difference kind of between a vegan diet and a plant-based.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So if you vegan diet is strictly nothing that doesn't come out of the ground. I mean, you think plant-based would be the same.
Okay.
But plant-based is basically kind of flipping the script. You might still eat meats, eggs, milk, things like that.
Okay.
But it's like a very tiny percent of your diet.
Okay.
So where you normally eat like grains and meat as the number one part of your diet,
right?
You flip that to where that becomes a small part of it, and plant becomes the major part of it.
For the plant-based.
Mm-hmm. That's for the plant-based.
Okay.
For vegan, it's strictly everything plant-based. Yes. And I kind of went through that kind of extreme just because I wanted to see that change. If I ever get, above a certain number target, I may actually switch more to plant-based, maybe introduce some things back in. And that was kind of, part of the some news, for a kidney disease, you measure it. One of the things they use is called a GFR. And anything below a 30 is stage 4.
Okay.
And that's where they start talking about dialysis and transplants and things like that. I've been to stage 4. That was, for me, I got down to a 28, which is very top of that, but it still was still declining.
Yeah.
That's where I was when I switched to a vegan diet. 2 years later, I go into the doctor every 4 months. I had to do testing every 2 months for blood work to see where it was. Steadily it's increased. I'm up to GFR 40 now. So I'm back up into stage 3, the very high part of stage 3. And so it's obviously working for me between that and prayer. So
sure. And you exercise too?
Yeah, daily. I always did. We play basketball together at the gym. But right now I'm doing a lot of walking because of some other issues. But normally I'm running or playing basketball or something.
That's great. So a lot of physical activity, daily physical activity.
Oh yeah.
And a vegan diet, and you've seen you said GFR?
Yeah, GFR.
Go from a 28 to a
40.
40, okay.
Yep.
Fantastic. And what's your goal, or what would be the percentage where you feel like you could go to more of a plant-based approach?
I think if I can get above, so the stage 3 runs from a 30 to a 60.
Okay.
And it's broken into a 3A and 3B. 3B is anything 44 and below.
Okay.
At 45 and above, you're stage 3A. Why they didn't just split the stages, I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, I think if I get above 45, I could introduce some, maybe some eggs or something back into the diet, or cheese. But 40 has been my target for the last 2 years.
2 years.
So next is 45. So.
And you get that test done every 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Keep me posted on, if you don't mind, just let us know.
Sure.
Let me know where you're at. I'd love to share with people.
Sure.
The progress once you get to that 45 and celebrate with you. In the past 2 years, just give us an idea about the highs and lows. What have been the great parts about it and the not so great parts about it?
Yeah, I think, again, that first couple of months going vegan was tough, but I did see a really quick kind of turn. But the GFR number could fluctuate back up and down. So I'd get up as high as 38, and then it would drop back down to 36 or something. So I just because I'm above 40 doesn't mean I'll stay above 40.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of not a roller coaster ride, but it's not a straight line. It does have, it can depend on what you ate for the day or what time of the day the test is taken as well. So I saw initially, the good news was I saw a kind of a pretty good increase as I cut out the meat protein. I saw like a 28 to 32 jump. So I was like, wow, this is great. This thing's going to just...
Yeah.
And then it kind of slowed down and slowed down. And then it kind of started fluctuating up and down. It kind of stayed steady around 37, 38.
Okay.
But still climbing up to 40. So it was kind of tough to watch that number. If you saw a direct correlation to, I went vegan and it just kept going straight up, it would be easier. But when you see that number not going up like you want it to, and you feel like you're putting your all into it, that's when it gets to be a little bit tough.
It's a little
like, what am I doing this for?
Worked really well the first 6 months, but you didn't see the same scale across the full 24 months.
It's kind of a point of diminishing returns, right?
Yeah,
and the curve started out pretty steep, then kind of tapered off.
And just curious, has the doctor talked about anything else outside of diet and activity that you can do to get that?
No, not for that really. I mean, it's unfortunate, it's a disease there's not really a cure for. The best thing they can do is generally try to maintain it, and again, blood pressure and kind of maintain your protein and things like that. And so, another issue with going vegan too is trying to keep your red and white blood cell counts up.
Okay.
And so I take some other vitamins and things like that to keep that up, like L-carnitine, and I also take vitamin B12 liquid every day to keep from losing the red and white blood cell count. 'Cause that's one of the things that they do watch. And he added those tests into my regular tests once he knew I was going vegan, to make sure that my blood cells stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what is your why?
Why? I want to live to see my kids have kids and live a long, happy life, and I don't want to do it having to know where the local dialysis place is at, or trying to get some on the transplant list.
Sure.
I want to keep my own body parts as long as I can.
It's a very good goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So finally, what encouragement would you give to people that are looking to improve their health? And maybe even if someone is thinking about doing a plant-based approach, you can even specifically address what tips and tricks.
I mean, I think generically, it's you always just want to eat right and exercise. I think daily exercise is really an important factor in anybody's life, no matter what you do. But the doctors will tell you, even if you're a fairly healthy person, that as you age, especially you and I, it gets to be more not necessarily about what you put out, but what you put in. So even just if you kept your exercise regime the same and didn't change your diet as you aged, your metabolism slows down and it's going to catch up with you. So at some point, as your metabolism starts to slow down, and you're keeping that output up, you've got to change what's coming in. So even if you don't have some disease you're facing or something like that, it's still a good idea to have something to help keep you in shape and as you're aging along.
Okay.
But I think find a friend, find somebody else who's doing it. Hopefully your family will be supportive. I think for me, having a supportive family and friends and things like that, even here at the church, they've prayed about things, but just having a good support group is what makes it.
Okay.
And you got to commit. I mean, it's not a diet, it's not a fad. It's definitely it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if you can't commit to that, it will make it very difficult. Because then it's easy to just, I think I'll just go do something different today. Today I'm going to go have steak because I want to, or whatever. Being able to commit to it and say, no, this is the way I'm going to live my life, is where you have to be, but it's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, and then your why is probably what keeps you focused more than anything else.
Sure,
right?
yeah. For me, I've definitely got an underlying why I want to do this, and so it makes it much easier for me to be committed. We were talking about something the other day, and I'd give my left leg for that, to have that. And my daughter's like, yeah, but would you give up your kidneys? I'm like, no, I guess I wouldn't. So I'll not have that. So my family is, in some ways, sarcastically supportive. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it. That's
Okay.
good. I know you're working on trying to do this, and I wish
Yeah.
you luck. And
Thanks.
I'll be here to support you however I can.
Thanks so much.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. You talked about not being committed. So having a strong why, and then I know for me, when I saw the initial results after 4 weeks, my blood cholesterol dropped 50 points.
Sure. Yeah.
I knew this was something that was working for me.
Oh, yeah.
And after seeing those results, and I was strict for those first 4 weeks, I knew that I wouldn't want to let that stuff back in my diet on a consistent basis. It worked.
Yeah, again, that's plant-based, right, as opposed to vegan. I mean, you
Okay.
just, as long as you keep that, like 80, 90% it is plant-based, and every once in a while you have something outside of that. So,
Okay.
and that's kind of what they encourage. And even I think if you go to like the vegans site, they will tell you if you're doing this for a health reason, don't. But if you have a conscious reason for doing it, then do it, like saving animals or whatever.
Right.
But again, for me, it was an extreme to get it done. I will tell you, one of the saving graces for me has been, I don't know if you've been to Shorty's downtown, but they have the Impossible Burger there, the 2.0.
You told me about that.
Oh my gosh.
I need to try it.
It's like salvation.
Is it really?
Black bean burgers are not my favorite. But if you get the Impossible Burger, it's life-changing. And also Carl's Jr., like in Owasso, has the Beyond Meat Burger on their menu. So, and you can buy it in frozen patties in Sprouts. And those things are small things, small victories that make a difference in your daily walk in veganism. So.
Yeah. Okay, so Shorty's has one in Bartlesville. Carl's Jr. has one. And Sprouts has the frozen versions. Okay, good to know.
And Oreos are vegan.
Oreos are vegan.
Just
good
saying.
to know. All right, they're plant-based.
That's exactly
I
right.
love it.
If you want a snack, there you go.
That's good. Yeah, finding those treats is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the keys. Yeah. Well, Ronnie, thanks so much for being on here. I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Absolutely.
And I know we'll talk about your progress, and we'll get to celebrate it together.
Sure.
But I want to let you know that you inspire me. You, maybe along with one other person, are a huge reason that I'm doing this. So thanks for the inspiration.
Oh yeah. Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.